Welcome back to the Manifest She podcast. If you're new here, I am Shannon, and this space is about manifesting, using our minds to change our worlds, not by forcing or pretending or weird, positive vibe only stuff. No, it's the deep stuff. It's the real conversations to help you live the life your soul already knows is yours, using your powerhouse of creation, which is the mind. And I want to talk about mindset today deeply, because usually when we're thinking about mindset or when we hear the word mindset, we think of positive thinking. Oh, the power of positive thinking, or fixing ourselves, like there's something wrong with me internally and I have to fix it. And both of those ideas really miss the point, especially with what we do inside of the community that I work with. So today I kind of want to slow down and clean up some things that we think about when mindset comes up. Because when I talk about having a different mindset so that you can change your life, I'm not talking about being positive all the time or high vibes only, or just pretending that everything's fine. And if we just pretend everything's fine, then eventually it'll change. What I'm really talking about, and when I work with people, it's much simpler than that. And it's much more powerful because we work with beliefs. Because when we think about mindset, it's truly not happy thoughts or what we consciously think. It's about our subconscious. And that's all rooted in what do we believe. Now, when you hear the word subconscious, maybe it seems dramatic or way too scientific-y, or, what are you talking about? Maybe to some, it might even seem mysterious, like it's this hidden thing and you have to unlock it. And it's this treasure box that you have to, go through and try and find the magic way to make it work for you. But practically speaking, it's just the part of your mind where your beliefs live. That's it. It's just, that's where whatever I believe lives in my subconscious to get me through my day. And your beliefs are things like what you think is possible for you, what you think is safe, what you think you deserve, how life works, what's supposed to happen next. Those are what your beliefs are about. And those beliefs run 95% of your day-to-day experience. Now, the other 5%, that's your conscious mind. So when people are like, always think happy thoughts, they're asking you to use 5% of your mind instead of working with the 95%. The 5% has a purpose to help with the 95%, right? Your conscious mind has a part to play. But I think the problem when we're talking about mindset and bringing it up is that a lot of it focuses on simply working with the 5%, and that takes so much effort. The 95% of your brain, it doesn't take much effort. It just does. It's the autopilot part of you, and things become part of you on autopilot when you build belief around them. I always go back to when you learn how to drive. To me, that's the easiest one to kind of bring this into perspective. But when you learn how to drive, you have to be very focused when you first start. And you have to have a lot of things going on in your mind and thinking about what you're doing. But eventually it just becomes second nature. And that's because you moved it from sheer effort into autopilot in your life because you believed you could, right? Oh, I can do this. I believe in myself. You showed yourself you could do it. Now you believe it. Now, some beliefs are a little bit more in depth than learning how to drive, and some are just as simple as learning how to drive. So when you come to me and you say, Shannon, I want to change my life, what you're talking about is the change that you know you want, that's in the 5% of your brain, that's conscious to you, and that is your desire. And I want to get you to your desire. It's popped up. It's new. It's not a belief yet. It's something new you want to experience in your life. So it's in the conscious. It hasn't had an opportunity to make it to the subconscious with your beliefs. Now, you have this desire, but you're like, girl, my life ain't changing. Well, that's simply because your life is still being shaped by the 95%, right? So that's the gap. The gap is the 5% is where my desire lives, that new thing, but the 95% is running my life and, going on in the background on autopilot. So there's a gap and we have to close the gap. A different mindset isn't forcing yourself to close the gap. It's allowing yourself to believe something new. Belief change is a lot quieter and a lot less intensive than we would think, right? The moment your mind goes from, that's not possible, to maybe that could be true, that's a tiny, powerful shift in and of itself to start priming that subconscious to let it be known. Speaking of driving, my son, my last baby, who's now grown, had a few bad experiences the first couple times he got behind the wheel, and then he just didn't want to try again. He's like, I'm not driving. No, right? Because he believed that it just was not for him. But as time went on, he was like, yeah, I need to drive. I'm about to be grown. I don't want my mama dropping me off to college. I want to take my girlfriend on dates in my own vehicle. And so he started to think, okay, that's possible for me. He got back behind the wheel and it was a shift and it was powerful. And now he drives and he does all the things. And like, I just found out the other day that he actually gets on the highway. And I was like, oh my God, you get on the highway. Yeah, we live in Texas. If you've never driven on a Texas highway, good for you. They're scary. But it starts with a tiny shift. And that's what's going to tell yourself, okay, it's safe to move forward. It's safe to explore this new possibility. Now, you have to build the belief around it to then experience it, right? You have to practice that belief. But just like when my son was practicing driving, he wasn't in the car from the time he woke up to the time he went to bed practicing driving. He did it for a certain amount of time a day, and then he went about his life. And I think that's another misconception that we come up with when we're changing our beliefs and we're doing belief work and we're doing mindset work, is that it's something we have to police within ourselves all day, every day. So when you think, I have to think positive thoughts, I always have to put a positive spin. That is, then you get this trap of, oh no, I didn't think positive. Oh crap, I screwed up. Oh, and it becomes like this self-judgment practice, which is a complete block in itself, instead of a natural process about just changing your beliefs. And so within the Vision Lab, we work on belief work. We work on getting that 5% back into that 95%. So what we want happens on autopilot. It happens easily, working with beliefs. And some beliefs, they just don't serve you anymore. Sometimes you just need a whole new belief. There's different phases of how we do this and how we work with our beliefs. But if we're thinking about beliefs, where do they come from? Experiences, repetition, emotional moments, things maybe you were taught directly or indirectly, things you observed or things you internalized. I talk about on previous episodes things that I was not taught directly, right? It was like some indirect thing, and then I internalized it in a completely weird way. Like, we do that. It's fine. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with us. It doesn't mean we have to fix ourselves. It doesn't mean we have to go on some huge, long healing journey to make it better. Like, that's not what we do here. Just understanding how beliefs come. Yes, through experience. Yes, through repetition. Yes, through emotional moments. And from things we're taught. Things we observe. But we can work within that, understanding that, to build belief or change belief so that our life reflects what we want our life to have. So if you have this belief and it's getting in your way, say, you believe it's really hard to make money, or nice guys finish last, things like that. It doesn't mean you're messed up. It just means it was something that was exposed to you somewhere along the way. But you can move past it. A lot of people think that by the time we're a certain age, that's it, right? Like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Have you heard that one before? But you can, because your brain has neuroplasticity. It can change. And all that means, yes, that's very technical, but all that means is you can change what you believe so that it runs in the background on autopilot. Case in point, teenagers and young adults learn how to drive, things they weren't able to do, and that comes with the belief that I can, and it just happens on autopilot. Now I just go and I really don't have to think about it. So you can learn new things. So if that helps you, that example helps you make it more tangible, I want you to think of building beliefs as just learning new things, learning a new way of being, learning a new way of seeing the world, learning a new way of believing in yourself. At some point in your life, whatever beliefs you had just made sense, or they were just taught or indirectly taught to you. It's neither here nor there. Let's look at the present moment and just, what do we need to believe now? What do we need to update? What new thing do I need to learn that I can either be taught or someone can teach me to live the life that I want to live? And that's where your mindset comes in. That's where the magic is. It's the ability to be able to learn and to take the 95% of your brain, the subconscious mind, and get it to work for you, to get it to allow whatever desires pop into that 5% of your brain to become something that you live on autopilot. That is the magical part without it being quote unquote magical, if that makes sense. Because when a belief changes, your life changes, and it's not because you're doing something harder. It's just because your thoughts are shifting naturally. Your emotional responses are different. Your choices are different. You see things and opportunities. Literally, your experiences and the matter around you rearrange to match those beliefs. And we talk all about how this really happens in the Vision Lab, but a big part of that is your confirmation bias. And we work with that to get it on the team of our desire, right? So that's how it works and how you see and experience your day-to-day. You're not going to wake up one day and instantly be a completely different person. You just respond differently. You notice differently. You experience differently in a way that is natural and easy and flows. All of these add up to a very big change in life where you look back and you're like, whoa, mind blown, right? That I wanted this and now I have it. And that's what happens when the 95% starts to match the 5%. And I just do want to be clear, if I haven't been clear enough today. But if you have a belief that limits you or doesn't line up with what you want, it does not mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're a human being. In this space, we use our mindset to evolve, to change, to grow, to experience new things. Not about beating yourself up. It's just saying, okay, I don't want that anymore. I want something different. It's not about shame or urgency or self-criticism. And when you remove that layer as well, life change becomes so much easier. So when we talk about a different mindset, when you hear the word mindset, when you hear the word manifestation, we're really just talking about believing in something new that's possible and letting our beliefs update so that that feels normal, so we can experience it, so that our 95% supports what our 5% desires. And that's how you change your life. It's not by rigid routines or forced behavior or always just thinking happy, happy, happy thoughts. It's not that. It's not about fixing or healing yourself. It's just about allowing your beliefs to evolve along with your desires. Because when those two things start speaking the same language, that is when everything in your life changes. We go into depth in this in the Vision Lab. The Vision Lab is now open. You can join today. Things are still being uploaded in there, so you'll get to start. And as I keep uploading week by week, you'll get more and more. But in there, you'll get in-depth lessons on how your mind works, how to change your reality, how to change those beliefs, how to work with beliefs, what things actually need belief change and what things don't, because you don't have to change your beliefs to get everything you want. And so we explore that, and then we explore how to use a vision diary as our main tool of support. Plus, inside there is custom GPTs that you can do one-on-one coaching. So if you're like, wait, I need help with this step of the process, you can access what I do with my private clients in the form of a custom GPT and get support right then and there. And there's also mindset tools in there that you can use. Not that if you have to use them, but just if you want to support you throughout your journey. And like I said, I am building it up right now. I'm adding stuff in, but all of the parts of it have a place where you can start and begin today. And if you get it right now before it is completely finished and uploaded, then you're going to get it at a discounted rate, because once I get everything put in there and solidified, it's going to go up to the actual rate of what it's going to be. So I will put that in the show notes so you can check it out. Go get it today. And remember, mindset is how we are going to change our reality, and not through upbeat, but through belief. I'll chat with you next week. If you loved today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share it with your fellow warriors. Let's create a ripple effect of liberation. Until next time, stay fierce, stay fabulous, and as always, live life unapologetically.